Hello and welcome back to another episode of World Tour on Football Manager 2021, and today's episode is the end of season review for the 2021-22 season. I believe our fifth season in charge of Chennai City, if you take into account the Back to the Future style time travelling that we had to do. So we'll start the season review straight away with the new arrivals. Let's see what the board thought of our new arrivals. Quite a few of them, 6 in total. So we'll start at the top. Roshan Singh, we'll look at how he did as well this season. 7.27. He's been our stalwart at the back alongside Mario Das, and he's been a very good signing for us. I believe he was brought in on a free transfer. He was from Kerala FC, and the board are apparently content with the deal to sign him. But I think performance-wise, he's done a great job for us, playing the majority of the games this season. Then we have Musa Kone, who was released from Parma, the 21-year-old ball-winning midfielder, and he has been our starting ball-winning midfielder this season as well, and has played great. So both of them, top signings for us. He got a B- in terms of the board. The board were pleased with the deal to sign him, and that's because we got him to agree to a lower wage. I guess it's all about the money for them. And Ayush Shikara, unfortunately hit by injury this season. He was scoring a few goals before he got the injury, but the injury sort of knocked him out of our starting lineup, and Ranjit Singh Pandre took advantage of that. The board were disappointed with the deal to sign him. Apparently, we were paid $7,000 to get him from Mumbai B, but he's only 19 years old. Hopefully, he can get back into the first team for next season and go on and score a few more goals for us, because you can see he was pretty handy. 4 goals, 3 assists in the 8 starts that he had, 14 appearances off the bench, but I don't think he really got a chance to do much off the bench. Then we come to our fullbacks, and it's a problem position. They were pleased with the deal to sign him. We signed him for $23,000. He was meant to solve all our problems at left back. He didn't really. I don't think he did that, to be honest. His average rating is okay. It's not great, but I don't think we're going to be getting another left back in, because he has slightly improved that position with a 6.78 average rating. And then at the other side of fullback, from Azol FC on a free transfer, Lal Malsauma, he's definitely not solved our problem at right back. We are looking at other right backs to bring in. We obviously have Balakrishnan as well, but he's been playing pretty much the same level as Lal Malsauma, so it's still a position that we're looking at improving. But Lal Malsauma was our first choice right back this season. He played 23 times, but he started 23 times, 2 times off the bench. And like I said, 6.64 average rating. And then the final signing that we had was Mohammed Hamid, another left back signed on a free from Kashmir FC. That sort of rhymes. He made 15 appearances, 3 off the bench, an average rating of 6.58. He did manage to get an assist. He's not done great. He's 24 years old. He's the same age as Magazi, so they should be pushing each other to get better. So hopefully they can start to do that next season. Looking at the transfers out, so we'll start with VJN. He is one of the more recent sales that we did. I believe that was in the January of this season. So he went for, it says £73 there. I thought it was £75. They've obviously nicked a couple of pound back there, but no biggie. He's played 2 times apparently for Shivajians. 8 times off the bench. He's got a goal, an assist, and an average rating of 7.45. But I didn't have a place for him in my squad. So despite the fact the board were disappointed with the deal, it wasn't really fair on him. Also, Kieran Das obviously got released by us. He went to the same club that VJN ended up at, and he's playing a lot better than he was for us. BJ Shetty went to Delhi FC. He signed a pre-contract, and then we offered him out to them for 2.2 thousand or 2.15 thousand as it says here, and they snapped him up, and he's not played great. 6.6 average rating from 3 appearances. Shem Martin Eugene, another free transfer, released by us and went to Dempo SC, hasn't played many times and hasn't done well. Same with Vineeth Kumar, who went for just over $2,000. He's played 17 times. He's only scored 2 goals and he's got an average rating of 6.44. And then TK Rose, one of the youngsters, he hasn't. I was just getting distracted by the fact that the board are actually pleased with a deal that I've done. That's quite a rarity, to be honest. 6.3k we sold him for. He's not played for them yet. Obviously, he signed for their under 18s team, so he's not played for their first team yet. Now, looking at the season's results. So the little description area here says the Singams, that's us, were one of the competition's surprise packages, consistently defying expectations and owing largely to an impressive spell of form between January and April that saw them rise to second, were able to celebrate a successful campaign. And that is an understatement. You can see from our board confidence, they're delighted that the team achieved a top half finish in the I-League this season. Arguably, that should say they're delighted that the team managed to challenge for the title this season, because we certainly did that. We ended up only 3 points behind the champions. Our board expectation was to avoid relegation. We smashed that out the water. Average home attendance 9,785. We've still got a bit of work to do there. It's only 32% of our stadium's capacity. Singh Pandre, top scorer, 7 goals. He did very well coming in when Shikara got injured. Looking at the Asian Confederation Cup, our board expectation was to be competitive, and we definitely did that. The board were delighted that the team reached the group stage of the Confederation Cup. That's the only stage that we competed in, to be fair. We only lost once, and that was the game that sent us out, unfortunately. Enough. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Durand Cup, our expectation was to be competitive. We weren't really competitive at all. We won 1 game, lost the other 2, but we still managed to get a C+ grade from the board somehow. And then in the Federation Cup, again, expectation was to be competitive, and we weren't, but they're still happy with it. All they care about is the league, which is the same as what I care about, really. Everything else is just a nice little side task. Now for the moments to remember, our biggest win of the season was back in April, the start of April, a 4-0 win over Kashmir FC. And that was the one where I think that was the second last game of the season, where Kerala had been smashed by Lone Star Kashmir. And then we went and scored 4 against Real Kashmir. And we needed to win the next game for Kerala to lose and to have a 4-goal swing, I think it was. So that's when I really got my hopes up that we might actually turn it around and perform some sort of miracle and win the league. But that obviously wasn't to be. The match to remember was a 4-1 victory over Mohammedan. And the goal of the season came from Lennon Mithran in a 3-2 victory over Mohammedan in January of 2022. Shall we see if we can go and have a look at that, because I can't remember. So here we go. Mithran had the ball there, starts the move off, plays it to Das. Singh Pandre back to Mithran, and Mithran just smashed that past the goalkeeper. And that's a well-deserving goal of the season award. And we just have to skip through and get back to where we were. So yeah, Lennon Mithran picking up the goal of the season award for us. Now to look at the finances. And our club reputation has stayed the same. It's still national, and we've got no new sponsorship deals this year. But looking at our annual revenue, so our sponsorship it says it's down. It's actually the same as last season, 53.72 thousand. Broadcast revenue is slightly up from last season. I'm assuming that is because of the Asian Confederation Cup. So we've earned 10 grand from broadcast revenue this year compared to 7 last year. Corporate and hospitality is also up to 8.44k compared to 3.29 last year. And competition prize money is a little bit down compared to last year. I don't know why that is, considering we finished higher. We got 70 grand this year, 75 last year. It's a bit confusing. Matchday commercial and retail is up a hell of a lot though, 122 grand compared to last year's 38 grand. And then the top shirt sellers were Christian Saba, Musa Kone, Pradison Mariadasan. Vito Raju is a strange one, given he didn't really play for us that much and wants to leave. And Sriram Bhupathi is the final top shirt seller. And this is our best lineup apparently this season. So Maloli in goal, Lalmal Sauma, Mariadasan, Singh and Varghese in defence, Mithran Kone and Bhupathi in midfield, Suhail Pasha and Saba on the wings, and Singh Pandre up top. This is actually correct. This was my first team. This was my first choice team this season. And you can see why when you look at most of the average ratings. Now for the accolades, and I didn't tell you this, but I did win the Manager of the Month award for the Hero I-League in both February and April. So some little awards for me there. But looking on to the players, and Fans Player of the Season goes to Pradison Mariadasan, who was immense in central defence. And well, honestly, it's like poetry. I'm just rhyming all the time. And I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Mario Dassan, though, yes, he was great at the back. He when he didn't play, when he was suspended or injured, you could tell that he wasn't there. We didn't play half as well as we did when he did play. Mario Dassan also awarded the Young Player of the Season award. Musa Kone, signing of the season. Lennon Mithran with the goal of the season, as we've already said. Singh Pandre, top scorer, as we've already said as well. Most assists was Suryan Bupati with 6. Most Player of the Match awards was Mario Dassan with 6. Highest average rating was also Mario Dassan with 7.7. We didn't win any competition awards, unfortunately. Some bias against Chennai City there, I think. But record breakers, let's have a look at this section. Most overall goals by a player in a season. Singh Pandre has broken the record for that with 9 this year. Mostly goals by a player in a season. Singh Pandre also gets that one with 7. Most goals by a player in a match. A hat-trick for Christian Saber in one match. Most clean sheets by a player in a season. Shahanlal Maloli beats the previous record by getting 10. Most player of the match awards in a season. Mario Dassan, who got 8. Worst discipline, also Mario Dassan. 5 yellow cards, 1 red card. Not great. That's 3 suspensions there in the season, and he was greatly missed in every single game that he didn't play. Most league appearances by a player, this must be in their entire career, is 50. I'm pretty sure I say that every single time I do one of these season reviews. Youngest player, Satish Balaji, 15 years, 250 days. Oldest player was Shahanlal Maloli, 32 years old, 92 days. Highest transfer fee paid was for Varghese, 23 grand. Fastest goal, Bupati, 1 minute 14 seconds. And oldest goal scorer was Charles Anandraj at the age of 30 years and 171 days. So we've had a few players inducted into the Chennai City overall best 11 as well. So 6 players, apparently. Roshan Singh was the pick of the 6 players. Obviously getting an average rating of 7.27 this season, but also Musa Kone, Lennon Mithran, Ayush Shikara, Shahanlal Maloli, and Jayan Varghese have all joined the overall best 11. So congrats to them. Now, we've just received this from Aravind Chandrasakaran, our head performance analyst, and it's our seasonal performance analyst report. So general performance, we are performing above average statistically, apparently. So you can see that we're better with our passing percentages. We're about level with tackle percentages and goals per game and XG per game. We're higher on conceded per game, which isn't great, and higher on XG against per game too. And in the XG section, so our average XG per match was 1.7. XG was 24.5. We actually scored 36 goals, so smashing our expected goals by over 10. Expected points was 33.6. We actually got 43. And expected points position was second, and that is actually where we finished. Looking at our defensive efficiency, our defensive statistics are very interesting. That's a nice little bit of analysis from my head performance analyst. Not at all. That doesn't tell me any information at all. Quiet and impenetrable. So that means we were pretty solid at the back, to be fair. We didn't have to deal with much. And when we had anything to deal with, they couldn't really get through very much. That's encouraging signs defensively. Attacking efficiency, we're passive but clinical, which suggests we don't really try that hard, but we score goals when we get chances, I'm assuming. That's what I would take from it anyway. And we've the owner's just come to us with a new club vision, and I'm not happy with it, to be quite honest with you. So he wants to play possession football, which I like. Develop players using the club's youth system. Yep, down with that. Sign agent players, that's fair enough. Play defensively solid football. I mean, that could compromise our attacking, to be honest. I don't really want to do that. And play high tempo pressing football. I don't think we've got the facilities for that. I don't think that we've got the players that can manage to play that style of football. So I'm gonna negotiate this and try and remove these two, because I don't think they're necessary. Looking at the 5-year plan, we actually achieved one of our club visions early this season, which was to establish ourselves as an I-League team. So this has all changed now. Mid-table is apparently our target for next season, and then top half finish for the season after is apparently a new one. Okay, yeah, we can leave that as it is, but it was just the tactics ones that I wasn't very happy with. But he really wants them, it seems. They need a lot of work. Okay, well, we'll get rid of the defensively one. We'll keep the high tempo pressing football, see if we can appease him. We can. Okay, so we need to play a high tempo pressing possession football next season. Interesting. So now it's time for the end of season team meeting, and this is where things can go horrifically wrong. There's lots of players looking very happy there. The question is whether I say that we're going to challenge for the title again. I don't think we can do that, because I think despite the fact that we managed it this season, the players aren't going to believe that they can do it again. So we're going to say the season's finished now, time to focus on what we can achieve going forward. I think we can earn a mid-table finish next year, and you need to come back for pre-season with the same level of ambition. That seems to have worked. That's one of the most positive ones that I've ever had, I think. I'll discuss some promises now, because I know that everyone hates it when I don't. I'm planning to improve the defence. You're not bothered about that promise. Cool. Thanks, Musa. Brilliant. Excellent. Why do you want me to make promises to you when every single time that I do, you don't care about them? I think that's enough promises for now. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you for the start of pre-season. Apparently, on the whole, that went well. So not too bad, I guess. I don't know why they want me to make promises when they're never happy with any of the promises that I make, and the promises that you can make are just so minimal. Like, it doesn't really have any effect on them at all. So now looking at the squad and looking ahead to next season, we'll just have a quick look at the positions that I think we probably need to strengthen in. So in goal, I think we're pretty solid. We've got Maloli as our first choice. He'll hopefully be back for 3 to 4 months. Yeah, he should be back for the start of the season proper. He'll miss the Durand Cup, so we can try Kumar Singh in that, and maybe our one of our youth players as well. I'll just get those involved in this. Amawes Chetri or Pram Navas might get a chance in goal in the Durand Cup as well. At centre-back, honestly, don't think we need to do anything there. We've got Singh and Mario Dasan, who are our solid first-choice pairing, but we've also got Felix Nixon, who's pretty good. Samping Raj is a youngster who's coming through nicely as well. We've got a few more youngsters who look promising, and also Ahmed Sahib somewhere down here, yeah. Ahmed Sahib, he's played well when he's come in as well. 10 tackling, 9 marking from him. It's not a position that I'm concerned about. It's the other places in defence that I'm concerned about, such as right back. I'm going to get rid of the under-18s now, because they're sort of cluttering up my squad there a little bit. So we have Balakrishnan and Lalmal Sauma, and if you look at their average rating, it's not great. It's average, to be honest. We do have BJ Singh, who's one of our youngsters. He's got 8 tackling, 6 marking, but he's on paper, Lalmal Sauma should be just so much better than any of our other choices at right back. So I am looking at a right back. In fact, I've signed a right back. I'll just tell you now. Nitesh Aswani is coming in on a free transfer. We've signed him at the end of his contract. His contract ends at the end of June. We've signed him up, and he looks pretty good. 11 tackling, 6 marking for him. He can also play at centre-back, which, I mean, we don't really need cover for, but it's a nice to have, I guess. But hopefully he can push Balakrishnan and Lalmal Sauma to do a bit better next season. So we're going to have 3 people battling out, or 4 if you include BJ Singh. We might give him a run out in the Durand Cup as well. At left back, we have Hamid and Vagese. They've been battling out amongst themselves to find out who was first choice in the early stages of the season. Vagese made a statement towards that, so his average rating is slightly better than Hamid's, but still not too impressed with it. But I might sign into the left back, but I'll see what happens. I've not seen one that takes my fancy at the moment. Obviously, we have Anandraj, who can always cover at left back as well, but that's not his first choice position. Now for centre midfield, and at the box-to-box position, we'll start with that. So Bupati and Susadamai are our 2 box-to-box midfielders, and Bupati has been our first choice this season. Susadamai has been playing mostly in the friendlies that I've arranged in between matches, but they both played very well, both very good players. Don't think we need any further backup in that position. We do have some young centre midfielders as well that we can give a bit of game time to in the friendlies and other such things to try and improve them, but got no worries about that role. Same with the advanced playmaker. Lennon Mithran has been good for us, 6.98 average rating for him, and Varun Mather, the other advanced playmaker that we use, 7.05. I think Lennon Mithran's probably played more times this season. Yeah, he's played 25 times. Mather's only played 6, but they've both been very good when they have played, and I don't think that we need to improve on that position. But a position that I do think we need to improve on, or at least get a backup in, is the ball-winning midfield role in centre midfield. Moussa Kone has been unstoppable in that position this season, but it's about having a backup for him in case he gets injured, and also a bit of competition for him as well. Anandraj is heading off sort of towards the other side of the peak of his career, I would say. He's 30 years old. He's not got as much game time this season as he has in previous seasons. 6 games started this year, 6 off the bench as well. But Moussa Kone has taken that role for himself, to be honest. And for that reason, we are bringing in at the end of his contract someone else on a free transfer, Kingsley Fernandez from Churchill Brothers. He's currently with the under-18s, so he's obviously clearly out of favour with Churchill Brothers at the moment. 24-year-old Indian national. 9 tackling. His marking's only between 3 and 6. He was recommended to me from my scouts. I don't normally listen to them, but he's going to be a backup, to be honest. But he's going to hopefully be a bit better than Charles Anandraj is as a backup. Now for the right wing, and Suhail Pasha has made that position his own in the past couple of seasons, and it hasn't changed this season either. An average rating of 6.94. He played 21 of the games for us this season. We're struggling with choosing who our backup is going to be honest with you. Francis has had a few chances, and he's not done great. Raju is requesting to leave. He's done okay when he's come in for Suhail Pasha. He's done all right. He's got a decent average rating there, but it's just the fact he wants first team football all the time, and I'm not going to give him that because Suhail Pasha is our definite first choice right winger. So we could have to look at getting in possibly another right winger, although we do have plenty of youth options. We have Ashok Ali here who can play at right wing. We also have Leon Ali. So Ashok Ali, very good crossing and dribbling, 8 and 9. I like to see that. His passing's okay too with 6. What about Leon? Leon again, 9 dribbling, 7 crossings, a bit not as good as Ashok. But we do have other right wingers, so it might be a case that we just try and bring up some youth as backup for that position. Now for the other wing, we have so many options there. Christian Saba is obviously our first choice. He's had a really good season, but we have Ashley Colley, who I signed last season. He's very good. I'll show you his attributes so that you're not just taking my word for it. He's got 9 passing. So he's very good, but attribute-wise, he's not great. 7 crossing, 6 dribbling, but he has played well when he's played for us. And of course, we have Joxon Das as well. He's a bit more average in terms of his attributes, but does play well when played. And then we do have some youth coming in on left wing as well. We have Joshua Fernandez as one of them. He looks very good. 8 crossing, 8 dribbling. He could possibly start to push Joxon Das and Ashley Colley away from being the backup left winger next season. And then finally, the striker position. So we have a few recognised strikers here. We obviously have Suhail Pasha and Saba who can play there. But for the guys that are literally only strikers, Singh Pandre has made that role his own this season. He had a bit of luck. Shakara getting injured. Shakara was in some good form when he got injured. But Singh Pandre, 9 goals in 19 starts and 4 sub appearances this season. He's going to be our first choice next season. But we obviously have Shakara who can come in if Singh Pandre suddenly starts failing to score. But we have Amitava Kumar, who's one of our youngsters, 17-year-old, came in last year's youth intake, 9 finishing, 8 first touch, 10 heading. He's a pretty good all-rounder, to be honest. And we have other youth players as well. Reno Shalil, I believe, is one that sticks out. So Reno Shalil, he played a few times for us at the back end of last season. You can see all his attributes are going up. To be honest, 9 finishing is nice. Heading of 8 is good as well. So there's plenty of options in our youth setup, and I do want to give more chances to youth players. Vinu Kutimani is one that I've not mentioned, but there's been teams apparently interested in him, and for the life of me, I don't know why. He's got good long throws. They must want to do a Rory Delap tactic, I guess. I can't see any of the other attributes there that really stand out to me as being extra special. So a quick look at the dynamic screen now, and you can see that team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere has gone down to very good, and managerial support has gone down to excellent. We have Kabir Taufik and Pravito Raju who want to leave to get better playing time. Only issue is I don't think anyone's interested in either of them, but I'll keep you updated on that. Looking at the hierarchy, we still don't have any team leaders, but we seem to be managing okay with that. Charles Anandraj and Raju are our highly influential players. Then we've got a handful of influential players and then other players. So it would be great if one of these, preferably Anandraj, I don't know why I clicked on him, preferably Anandraj, moved to a team leader, or maybe one of the newbies coming in can move up to that. But I would quite like to have some team leaders because it seems a bit empty up there. And then finally then for this episode, we take a look at the finances screen and we see that our balance has fallen to just under £650,000. We have a transfer budget of £181,000, but that looks like it's going to be dropped down to 98 grand for next season. Not that we really use the transfer budget very much. And our wage budget is 17,219, but our next season's wage budget is not available at the moment, so we don't know what that's going to be. But finances, I'm managing them pretty well, doing a lot better than I did in the previous universe where we were struggling. And I'm trying not to sign any big money wage players. So fingers crossed, I don't do anything stupid in the next transfer window. But looking ahead to the next episode, we will play it depends if we get far in the Durand Cup. So if we get out of our group stage in the Durand Cup and we manage to somehow make it to the semi-final, I will be back with the semi-final and final of that competition. If we don't, it's going to be a long wait. Well, it's not going to be a long wait for you, but it's going to be a long wait for me because it won't be until the start of November, I think, is when the next season starts. Although, saying that, as I said that, I remembered it's a World Cup year and it's the Qatar World Cup where the season sort of gets stopped halfway through. So let's have a look to see if they've got anything on next season's competition and when it starts. Apparently it still starts on the 27th of November. Okay, I don't think that's updated yet because the World Cup, I'm sure the World Cup is, one second, where is it? There it is, FIFA World Cup. Yeah, the World Cup starts on the 21st of November, so there's no way that we're playing our league season at the same time as the World Cup's being played. So I'm assuming we're going to start the season September time, so it's not as big a wait for me to get back to competitive league football. But yeah, so next episode, it's either Durand Cup semi-final or start of the league season, and I'll run through any transfers that I've made, anything that's happened since then too. But that is it for this season review episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to get all my content when it comes out, hit the notification bell to stay notified, and I'll see you next time.